Will Nvda turn around or tank after earnings? Hi everyone, it's Dow on the Dow. The company reports earnings, so I thought I would take a look at it on the 5-minute time frame and give you some price targets for Wednesday. We ended the day at $126.63, down 2.80%. This is where we are at the middle of the trend. To the north side from where we are takes us to roughly 130.57, 132.41. This is an area we've been to before, and at 4 standard deviations, roughly 134.15. Now to the south side, 123.35. This is one area of support and a potential buy-in area. The next line that I am tracking is 121.55 and roughly 119.80. I will mark out the official middle of the trend, and that's 127.04. If we bounce up and fall back down, we could bounce off of this line as well or follow this line off of the news. Now looking left, you can see clearly this is support and a bounce. As the ticker went up, this turns into resistance, falling down, just grinding along this line, and another attempt at a bounce, and then failed. So if we're up here and we go down, we are at support. Another level of resistance here and a sell-off here. This gap that I've talked about in the past that took us down to 124.96-ish is no longer in play. It opened up on February 6th, closed out on February 25th. So congratulations if you played the long game and went short, because look at this, what we did is we rode up to go back down. And based off of this gap, I knew price was going to head that direction. All right, so that is no longer a landmine to the south side. Plenty of other landmines. The next one is this one that I've been tracking that will take us down to 118.72. It opened up on Wednesday, February the 5th. So watch out for this one. You know, we could close the, I don't know. We could touch it possibly with the wick and then bounce off of that, but the middle of the week, so we could officially touch it on Wednesday if we continue to go south, but that remains to be seen. Now, the 1-year price target is 175.39, which represents a 38% return from where we are. It's going to be a lot of pain to get to that price, though. And what else? This gap closed. I think I've pretty much cleaned up the chart. And then there's another one that will take us down to 85.74 and some other landmines. We are not in that channel, not in the zone, not even close. Just something to be aware of. Ignore all those horizontal lines. Those are previous support resistance lines now that were once the middle of the trend lines. And on the daily, because we're reporting earnings, I want to just show you. Yeah, I've tracked this many, many, many times. I know it's hard to see. So we are at 126.63 right here. We are at support. So I am going to anticipate a bounce off of that. So one level in the big picture to the north side will take us to 153.29. And then to the south side, which makes sense to close out these gaps, will take us to roughly 116.07. What does the RSI tell us? The RSI is turning down, so watch out for that. And on the weekly, we're turning down, but look, we knew that was going to happen because we hit a critical area of resistance up there. And look at this, we are turning up on the monthly, but this is the highest we've gone before price starts to fall along with this indicator. Don't expect price to continue to run without basing and consolidating, whipping us around, getting rid of people with weak hands. Back to the 5 here. See, on the monthly, we're way up here, so there's going to be a crack, but right now, still turning up. As far as the other semiconductors, LAES up 3.28%, AMD down 3.84%, Intel 22.99, and this one up 3.28%. Let me just mark this out while I'm here and then move on very quickly because I've talked about this also in the past. Oops. So your targets are 320, 331, 342. The middle of the trend has gone down since the last time I looked at this. See, it was here previously. And you can see we're still making our way down, so the trend has not quite reversed. But you will see bounces here and there, 277, 266, 254. Note the buy-in at support, sell-off at resistance, and I noted this gap to the south side, and it did close right there at roughly 339. So that is done. I talked about this when it was 338, a bump up to go back down again. And this needs to be cleaned up. That actually touched right here, taking us to 367, no longer in play. I don't know what other gaps are dangling because I have not gone to thoroughly look at this. I don't really look at this ticker that much. Okay, the next one I want to go over is Orrcf. Thank you to Trader Murat for telling me about this. And he thinks this ticker can 1000x in the future. It's a non-energy minerals, precious metals, and Murat is in Russia. He is not able to get it or figure out how to buy this, but he wanted to let me know that. And what I'm going to do, because I do play conservatively, I could turn on my VWAP, my buy and sell signals through the bot if I wanted to, but I never really use that. You can use it as confirmation too. But just to play it, I might put in an order maybe at 15 cents. The 52-week low is 16 cents. So we're very close to there. So that is a buy for me in the sense that I like to buy longer term plays at a super low price, like a 52-week low. Obviously it could go lower, but all right. Let's take a look at this. And since it's such a tiny stock, only 158,000 shares traded, unlike Nvda, let me tell you, that's 271 million shares. And according to Fidelity, it is one of the most actively traded tickers, and that's why I wanted to go over it as well. And of course, because of earnings. Now back to my previous Orrcf. Murat and I track many tickers, and he's called out a lot of great stuff for me, so I appreciate that. All right, so your price targets to the north side, 0.2173, 0.2355, and 0.2544. Note the sell-off here at resistance. I will mark this out. .1439, 0.1255, and 0.1076. All right, bounce here at support, sell off at resistance. And this ticker obviously is very gappy, so I'm not going to bother unless, of course, there's a huge gap. Then I would mark it out. But because this is my first time taking a look at this, I have not marked out the gaps. Let's take a look at this on the daily. look at this fall. So the RSI, what is it doing here? It's turning down, and let's give you a window of price. So the middle of the trend on the daily is 0.1991, and above that takes us to 30 cents, and to the south side at 0.0865. And let's just look at this on the monthly. Looks like we're turning down a little bit. Not quite over sold yet. But look at this. Look at this massive, I don't know, you want to call that a squeeze, up to $3.02. But the 52-week high is 52 cents. So this ticker has fallen from grace, which I like. I'm not a buyer up here. I don't buy to buy higher. That's not my strategy. All right, the next one is also from Murat. And look at here we are on ADUR. This is a process industries chemicals specialty. They engage in the manufacture of oils and specialty chemicals using waste plastics. I know that I've done process industries or traded in that before. Valet, I think it was. And another one, I can't remember what ticker it was. But look at this. Sell off. You know it's going to happen. Just a matter of time. So I'm more of a buyer in the long term. I like to wait till it gets down here, but obviously it may not. So it just depends on your strategy. But I just want you to take a look at that. And on the weekly, also going down. So I'm going to anticipate a pullback and still going down here, even though the channel is going up. So watch out for that. Now while I'm here, let's just give you the window for the upper channel, 577 and 674. To the south side, we're looking at 477. Note the bounce here at support, sell off at resistance in that area. Let's go back to the 5 and give you, see how wonky that gets you? When you flip onto the different time frames, it moves everything. 526. All right, that's correct. 551, 594, 615, 638. Let's mark out the middle of the trend. 550, 505, 484, 462-ish. And we're close to support. But this is turning down, so we could touch here or here and then I think get a little bit of a bounce. But still stair-stepping down because look, on the 5 we are still in a downward pattern. Oh, and there's a big gap right here. Oh, let's just mark this out while I'm here because that is a bigger one. And it's easier right about there. There was a little dot right here. Give or take, just to give you an idea. What goes up must come down. Let's turn that into a red so I know intuitively when I look at this in the big picture, I know that's a gap to the downside that ran up. And look at this. Did we touch? No, but we will touch that on Wednesday. That's my prediction. So that will take us down to roughly 513. And then we've got some other gaps. And then this is when it launched, this ticker. All right. So we've got stuff through here too. So be aware of that. Put this on your radar. When Murat talks about these, he's pointing it out. He's not saying buy it. You've got to figure out where you think price is going to go and if you can get it lower. So I appreciate that. And then another ticker that he talked about is Grny. That's GRNY, a Tom Lee ticker here. So when Murat pointed this out, he said, pay attention to this ticker. It's on his radar. It's large caps. And we were here, so we were basically grinding, all right, grinding sideways. And then here is resistance. Boom, flush down. And then I pointed out this gap. So it took us down to 1983, opened up on the 14th of January. I had no idea when it was going to touch. I just knew that there was a possibility, and that probability came true. All right, so if you went short after I pointed that out, congrats. It touched right there on February 24th, taking us down to 1983. No longer a threat. And then we went down some more, bounced off that. This turns into resistance. And then slowly kind of making our way, passing through this middle of the trend. All right, that's the 5 minute, but let me give you price targets since I'm here. I own so many large caps. I do not need more. I don't need more Apple, Meta, all those other ones that I have in an ETF and individually. So if I didn't have this, you can bet for $19 in this price range, it's so much more affordable than Apple that is now at $227, I believe it ended the day. And it's expensive, that ticker. And when I say expensive, I'm not talking about the PE ratio, just the cost. This is way more affordable. And maybe I should just get in. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll just troll and get it, put a buy order and see if it just hits at a low point. Because right now, by the way, the market has tanked. So if you're sitting on the sidelines, this could be a potential area to get in. All right, to the north side on the 5. This is for Wednesday, 1959, 1973, 1987, 1931, 1902, 1888, and roughly 1874. Yeah, look at the stair step going down. We have not reversed yet. Okay, now the next one I want to go, and the last one, let's just do this for fun, for giggles, Pltr. It almost hit that gap that I was telling you about previously, and we just need to rip off the Band-Aid. We're so close. We just need to get there, but we haven't. This will take us down to 83.69, so that is a better buy-in than when we were in the 125 range. No thank you, but I did buy in the $10, the $12, and the $20 range, and that's when I stopped buying. If we ever get back down there, I will troll and buy some more, but I highly doubt it. All right, 87.84 is where we ended. 92.52, 96.15. We've got a gap to the upside that fills at, let's just put it right there, 101.21. And the 4 standard deviations, 99.83. Middle of the trend is now right here, roughly at 85.38. So if we come down, we could bounce off that line or just continue to grind down. Price has to slice through this middle of the trend if we make our way down, and if we're down and we go up, it will slice through this line and go up. All right, 78.30, 74.68, and 71.16. This is the next baby gap that I am tracking that I talked about previously, taking us to 69.60, not in the channel yet, just something to be aware of. To the south side. All right, that's it. It is getting late, so I'll wrap this up. Thank you again to Trader Murat for pointing out some of these tickers. I appreciate it, and have a great trading day.